Hi, welcome to Fatmata Speaks. Welcome to the eclipse reading. Okay, the eclipse, we're gonna have an eclipse on the 12th of August. And if you see this before or maybe even after the eclipse, then this message is for you. So I meditated on, well, the question was, what should the collective know about this eclipse energy? And the core message that I received is basically, do not give up on your dreams. Not yet, not now, not ever. Okay, do not give up on your dreams. And I was shown three images, well, three sequels of images, and I don't know if they all belong together to you. I believe so, but if they don't, they belong to different type of people. Just take what belongs to you and leave the rest. But this message is for someone in particular, someone who is currently undergoing the process of becoming, someone who has a dream, someone who is experiencing it, who is in the thick of it most likely. And this energy, this eclipse just wants to remind you of who you are, because you seem to have forgotten it because you're in the thick of it and you need to be reminded. Okay, so the first image I saw was, I saw a light. And then this light, it kind of transformed into a portal. And then the portal transformed into a looking glass. And then I saw two sets of claws, like holding this looking glass. And it zoomed out and I saw that it was a dragon. It was in the color of brown and red, kind of. And the space of the dragon itself was a bit dark. And the only source of light was the light that was like in this looking glass. And they were holding the glass for so long, and then eventually they fall back. And I saw that on their tummy there was like light, there was light there, literally. And at first I thought it was maybe a sword, but then a figure that resembled Jesus appeared, and they kind of like grabbed the light and help them pull it out. And this ball of light came out, and then the dragon stood back up, and they were flying. They were in the air. So before they were standing on the ground, but now they were in the air. So like I was saying, someone is currently in the thick of it. Well, this particular someone is not in the thick of it per se. It's just, you're procrastinating. You're procrastinating. And you're procrastinating because you have forgotten that in you is a light, in you is a fire, a passion that burns in you, like it burns in you so brightly and wants to come out, that wants to be seen, wants to be experienced. But you kind of like focusing on the external a bit. You're not engaging, but you should, because you have something to bring to the table. You definitely have something to bring to the table. And it's burning your tummy, it's burning your chest because it wants to come out. That's why you're currently not feeling that great. You're not feeling great because you feel like something is stuck somewhere in your body and you cannot reach it. But you cannot reach it because you're currently looking too much on the outside. You have to take time for yourself. You have to pull back. If that means you have to stop watching certain type of videos, stop watching that type of video. If you have to stop eating certain type of food, stop eating that type of food. If you have to stop hanging out with certain type of people, stop it. Do it. Don't hang out with them. Pull back. Maybe go into hermit mode. Go back into your cave. You know, dragons have caves. Go into your cave and figure out what you want to birth into this world. And also know that you're not doing this alone. The mere fact that Jesus, well, a figure that looked very much like Jesus was there, showing that the divine is with you on this path. Your intention is actually protected, supported, and grounded. All that remains is you. You finally giving in, and you finally letting that idea out. Like I'm about to let out a belch, sorry. Okay. Well, that's a confirmation. Oof. Yeah. You have to let it out. The world is ready for what you have to offer, and the time is just right. So do it. Because the dragon did at the end. The dragon did. With the help of the divine, the dragon was able to let out the light, and then they were flying. They were not standing on the ground anymore. They were in the air. They were in the air. Remember, red dragon is all about good fortune, you know, passion, vitality. What else? Am I forgetting something? Protection, transformation. And then the brownness that I was seeing in them is also about, you know, stability, being in touch with your intuition, having protection from illusion and deception, you know, finding balance and peace in yourself, and finding the rhythm of your life. It's time. So trust in the process. Stop looking at the external and look inward. Ask yourself. I think I put something around that line. Ask yourself, what have I been looking at? Where do I want to go? What validation am I seeking from the external world? And how can I give that to myself? And why have I been ignoring myself? And what about myself have I been ignoring? It's time to go inwards, check in with yourself, and come out and give back to the light that we're so in need of right now. Okay? It's time. That was the first message. The second message was, again, I saw another portal. And then the image zoomed out, and I saw that the portal was actually in the right sleeve of a feminine figure. And the feminine figure was kind of rested, or she was part of the island. Well, mountain, hill-like island, kind of. And she was just there. The way she looked, it seems like she cannot move. She cannot move. She cannot do much. Or maybe that's how she sees herself. She cannot do much. Gender doesn't matter here, okay? I'm just saying she because she presented herself as a she. She cannot do much. But she has a portal in her sleeve. You have more in your sleeve. You have more tricks up your sleeve. Literally, that is what this is saying. And she was just there, and she was looking out. And then another feminine figure appeared, but she was in like a silver armor, and she was walking confidently. The armor was like, I don't know if you guys saw the which premiere was that? Zendaya Dun too. I don't know. D-U-N-E, I think that's how you spell it. She wore like this silver armor thingy. It was something like that. And the figure in this vision was like walking confidently. And then she walked for a while. And in a way she was like kind of like showing off. Like, this is who I am. I know who I am. I am okay. I am enough. I am kind of vibe she was giving. And then she reached a particular place, and there was like a table sort of, but it was made out of cement. And then she kind of like lie down on it and kind of like just resting. Well, kind of she was resting, but she was giving the vibe of like, you know, like the I don't want to say ancient time, but like, you know, in Rome and Greece movies, when the females are just like, the women are just lying there and kind of like leisure, just enjoying life and just being, kind of. She was giving that type of vibe. And I think we can understand this in two ways. The first one is I think it's better to just stick to the one way, because the first interpretation that came to mind was like, you're a generational breaker, generational circle breaker. I don't want to use the word curse, okay? And for a long while, the women maybe in this case, or like there's a certain behavior, certain belief, mindset that was like holding back your family line, your bloodline, and somehow you were able to escape from it because you realized that you guys have more up your sleeves, and you were able to escape from it, and then you became this embodiment of confidence, and then you were just living life. You were living life, and the feminine that was like connected to this hill, mountain, island is like your ancestors looking, watching you as you live the life that they couldn't, because they literally couldn't. Circumstances was just not allowing it. And you are proud of what you have achieved, because you know that this dream that you're living out, it's not just for you. It's for your whole bloodline, like the ones that came before you, the ones that tried but couldn't break free, the ones that started planting the seeds, and you build upon that foundation, you know. That was the first interpretation that came to mind. I just saw 1321. That has a positive meaning. Like, think positively, and then positive things will manifest. And talking about manifestation, the second interpretation that came to mind was, you, maybe by the circumstance, the family you were born in, or the life choices that has been made for you up to a certain point, or the life choices you have made up to a certain point, they kind of like holding you back. But because you have a dream and you're not giving up on this dream, you're holding on to this dream, or maybe you haven't done anything to achieve this dream yet, but you're envisioning it, you're picturing it in your head. And through this portal kind of like help you manifest it in a way, help you see what you can become. And the person you became is someone who is confident, someone who knows who they are, someone who can operate in the feminine as well as in the masculine aspects, and someone who knows that they are enough, and that they are the shit, okay? They are the shit. They are it. They know they are it, okay? And they're not holding back. They know when to rest. They know when to show off. They know when to be in masculine. They know when to be in feminine. And that's very important, you know? Especially for the feminine figure, because I wrote something down. I want to read that because that's very important. I wrote, when you tap into the skills that you guys have and have been building on, it will lead you towards rest. And for women, you can rest in your femininity, and that will be good for your body and your mental health, obviously. And for men, you will be able to release the chains that bind you, and finally rest in your core as you truly are, not what has been prescribed by society that you have to be. And also, you're not a stone or robot, so you're made out of flesh. You are a spiritual being having a human experience, okay? You just choose a different body to have the experience, that's all. But you're not a robot. You're not made out of stone. You'll be able to return to it, to who you are at the core. Yeah, so maybe some of you are in the thick of it, and you're finally having a vision of what you could be. And the next image, I think this also connects directly with this, because I saw someone being hung between two massive rocks, I guess, and they were being stretched. They were being stretched, like really stretched out. And all of a sudden, they were like shot out. Imagine like having a stone on a string, and then you pull, and then you let it go. Kind of like that's what happened to them. And then they flew in the air, and then they landed on a piece of a solid ground, actually, but the crown was in the air and it was floating, but it was stable. And they were like surprised by this. Okay, they were literally surprised by this. And then they turn around to, continue the path. And then they realize the path is actually short, not that far away. So maybe you have this vision in mind, you have this goal, according to the second interpretation of it, you have this goal, and you venture out. And of course, it's going to require a lot from you, because previously you were part of this mountain. You have to leave this hill island thingy, and to become who you want to become, the process has to strip you, pull you away from that. And I believe that's what the stretching was all about. They have to pull you and kind of like mold you, because the experience, when you go through a transformation, you have to go through that experience of letting go, realizing which part works, which part doesn't work, understanding why it works and why it doesn't work, where they come from, where the beliefs come from. You have to really undergo the process of releasing, remolding again, reshaping, and then doing the thing again and again and again. And it can be the word torture came to mind, but I don't want to use torture because it sounds too negative. It can be rather uncomfortable. Let's go with that, okay? Because it's much more softer. It can be really uncomfortable, but that's just part of the process. Because once you're ready, things happen really fast. They just go. So it looks like everything is has been done overnight, but you know that this is not the work of overnight. This work hasn't been done overnight. It has been done for weeks, months, for some even years. And the fastness of how quick things can change, it's going to surprise you. It's truly going to surprise you. And you're going to realize, wait, it wasn't that far away actually. This dream is really, you can obtain it. It's obtainable. It's not something far out of your reach. That's why the landing was short. And then at the end of the landing was a river. And the person looked at it and they were obviously afraid of it, because not afraid of the river, but afraid of am I gonna undergo through the process again of being molded and reshaped. And still they step forward. So you have reached a point of no return, okay? Point of no return. Or you're about to reach a point of no return, or this energy is just letting you know what to expect once you start this process. And they were brave enough though. So you're brave enough to actually step forward, because you know what you want. This is the thing. Once you know what you want, come what may, you still gonna go for it, Because even when you have your dream job or dream life, there are aspects of it that don't always feel comfortable. But you're still going to stick with that dream, still going to stick with that life, because that's what you want, The good outweighs the uncomfortable, So, yeah, they stepped forward and they were about to leap into the water. But the silver person again, the woman in the silver armor appeared again, and she held their hands. They helped. Wow, pause. Take a break every now and then. It's okay. She held their hand and told them to just walk on the water. But the person, of course, is a bit insecure, unsure about everything, because everything is brand new. You left the family and now you're in the new world. And the woman in the silver armor was walking on water because she can. She is confident. She trusts herself. And at the same time, the other figure was kind of struggling. They were dipping into the water every now and then. And the feminine figure didn't let go of them. The feminine figure, the silver, didn't let go of them or didn't scream at them. Instead, they just said, well, I heard in my head, be confident. Just be confident. And then they kept on going, like she kept on accompanying this person on their journey. And eventually the person found their confidence, and then they were standing upright and were walking on water, doing the impossible, something that they thought was impossible because they were in a whole different place than this place, you know? And yeah, they found their inner confidence, and they were able to step forward because they were also ready to be brave for the whatever, for this life that they dream of. So some of you might be clinging onto your dream. I mean, your dream found you for a reason because you have the ability to make it come true. So you're clinging onto this dream, and that is helping you stay above the water, help you stay afloat. And it's gonna help you go all the way until the very end. So don't give up. Don't give up. This eclipse on the 12th of August just wants you to not give up, because you're almost there. I think you're almost there, because August is all about experiencing life. And August promised so many transformation, but like transformation in the way of you finally receiving. And I think the closer you get to it, sometimes the harder it gets. And you just need to hear this so that you know that, okay, you're almost there. So don't give up. This dream found you for a reason. You left behind the old for a reason. You found your light again for a reason. It has been you all the way. The divine has been helping you, but you have been making the choice to move forward. So don't for a second even think less of yourself, because you are not less. You're enough. You are enough. Tell that to yourself every single day. And when the moment gets tough, remind yourself of that you are enough. That doesn't mean you cannot acquire more skills and all, but still, you are enough. You got this. You got this, okay? You got this. I truly believe in you. I truly believe you got this, because if you don't, you won't have come all this way. You wouldn't have come this far. No, you would have given up from the very start of it, not even venturing out. But you have ventured out, or you're about to venture out, and now you know what lies ahead of you, and you can venture out prepared. And for those who are already on the journey, you're at the end of it, so stick to it. You're enough. Don't forget that. Have a blessed one.